Maybe he got a little too cozy with some of these birds.
Only explanation I have in where fiat.
I don't want you to write to your congressman because I wouldn't know what to tell you to write. I don't know what to do about the depression and the inflation and the Russians and the crime in the street. All I know is that first, you've got to get mad. You've got to say, I'm a human being. God damn it. My life has value.
What's going on, guys? Thank you for joining us in the Conspiracy Kitchen, where we uncover the secret ingredients behind life's daily mysteries. I'm your head chef, Joe, and unfortunately, we will not be accompanied by my sous chef, Josh. I'm going to use a British phrase here. I guess he's pulling an Elliot. I'm not sure the lore behind that phrase, but to make up for it, we got some special dinner guests with us tonight from across the pond. Jay and Elliot of the Grumbling Grunts. How you guys doing?
Hello.
Yeah, good man. Hello.
I've been practicing how I was going to say hello all day, and I came up with that. That was it.
That was your American accent?
Wasted.
It was fucking terrible, man.
So for the listeners over here in America that I guess didn't go to your channel or anything when we were on there or anything, you want to tell them where did you guys meet and what was the trigger event that made you guys say, I'm going to start this podcast?
You going for Elliot or should I?
All that you do. You look like you were poised and ready, so
he's ready to go.
Right. Basically, me and Elliot worked on, we worked together in the construction industry for the same building firm. And we were working on this particular job, and it was a monotonous task of raking out and repointing brickwork, and it worked out to be something like it was like kilometers, wasn't it? Like 4 kilometers
one
worth.
One side of the building was nearly 2 kilometers. So there's 2 sides of the building and the end of the building.
Yeah, so it was something like 4.6 kilometers linear of raking out, repointing mortar in the brickwork. So it was bloody monotonous. And then we both just started like listening to things like the Sean Ryan show. And then
I think that's where it started, wasn't it? That's where it started, and then we progressively we started listening to the same thing at the same time. So we'd listen to things separately to begin with, and we were talking about it and discussing different things, and then we sort of kind of realised that we had a mutual interest in conspiracies or certain topics, or just anything that we'd found on a podcast at the time, and then we really got into it when we started listening to things, certain conspiracy podcasts on Spotify, and we just spent hours and hours and hours of the days just passing our time doing that, basically. Anything that made the day a bit better, a bit more interesting, really. So yeah, that's how we met. The podcast started for us because where we live in the UK, we live on a small island. There seems to be quite a lot of cases of paedophiles and sex offenders on the island that we live on, and a lot of them seem to be going through our justice system and not actually getting any sort of particular, or strong enough punishments, in our opinions. A lot of them were getting let go or let off with, real minor punishments, and it just, we'd spend all day fucking moaning about it, looking at it.
It just infuriated us.
Yeah, and then one day we just thought, you know what, we need to get this out there somewhere, or have an outlet. It never really started as something that we were gonna do to gain any listeners or anything. It was almost an outlet just for both of us to get it off our chests, and it sort of went from there.
Similar to how we did it too over here. Later on the show, actually, I want to get in. I don't think I've ever talked on the podcast here about how we started our show. So maybe later on, when I'm in some of these topics here, it'll fit in pretty good. It's about ours, why we started there. But I do I don't know if it's the word I'm admire your courage, I guess, for doing this, because over there, isn't it can it get a little dicey, or for you doing something like this if it gets out too much? When the government kind of do a crackdown on this or something?
Well, there seems to be, although I can't name them because I generally don't know who they are and I haven't paid much attention to that, there are YouTubers apparently being shut down, taken off air. Some have been I believe, detained and gone to court and whatnot. But I don't know the ins and outs of the details of that because, like I said, I don't really follow those sort of people. But there's certainly in recent times, in the last, I would say, month or so, there has been obviously the new Online Safety Act that came in the UK, and it was under. They tried to sell it. The government tried to sell it to us as it's a means to protecting our children from the internet, which you can understand. Yeah, fair play. There needs to be an element of protection there, protecting our children from the internet. Although I do believe a lot of that actually does come down under the responsibility of the parent. The parent should take the onus on that. But what they're trying to do is obviously they're trying to protect our children from porno sites or pornographic imagery and whatnot. There's also like certain websites, forums, games, I guess, online games where paedophiles could probably break into, infiltrate and exploit and use that to gain connection with children. So I can understand that side of it, but there's a whole lot of other shit censorship that comes with that.
A lot of it comes back to the free speech thing as well, doesn't it? Because like we were talking about before, there's people in the country who have been arrested. People have faced jail time for things that they've posted online, whether it be on Facebook, whether it be on X or Instagram, whatever, wherever their normal Facebook outlet is, their social media outlet is. There's been multiple cases, some of them quite controversial, some of them have actually been in with the media. I mean, one of the most recent ones was the Lucy Connolly case, which she's out of prison now. She posted something on Facebook, she posted a rant, something had annoyed her own opinion, and she'd gone out there, whether you agree with it or you don't, what she said in the eyes of our justice system was enough to send her to prison for a certain amount of time.
She got like 32 months in prison.
Yeah, something like that. And there's places of different statistics for this. I mean, fact checking it, stuff that I've looked at that throughout UK data suggests that I think it's about just under 30 people, I think, a day are having visits from the police or under investigation for certain things that they're putting online. If you look at that in a bigger perspective, that's like 12,000 people a year are either being charged or looked at, investigated for stuff that they're posting their own opinions online on, their own social media stuff, which I think's absolutely fucking stupid, really, at the end of the day.
I think Angela Rayner, who's our Deputy Prime Minister, didn't she say that she wants to crack down on people saying or saying negative things about asylum seekers on social media? She wants to come after people like that specifically.
If you post something about
the
hotels,
I
think the hotels, so in the UK, for any American listeners, in the UK at the moment, we've got a real problem with illegal immigrants coming into the country, but when they arrive in the country, unlike your country, which are dealing with it in a lot better fucking way than we are, our government recently, yeah, okay, our government are putting these asylum seekers, or that's what they like to call them. They're illegal immigrants that come here without any paperwork, documents or anything. We don't know who they are. They're undocumented people. We don't know what they've been up to in the country they've come from and what they plan to do when they get here. So they're getting put up in hotels, in HMOs, which is houses of multiple occupancy. So landlords in this country are being given money by the government to put them up in the houses, paid for something like 5 years in advance. So a landlord will get given 5 years rent up front, and that house will then be occupied by said asylum seekers or illegal immigrants, whatever you want to call them, for that amount of time. But the problem with it is they are still given a free rein within society, within the culture, different towns, different villages, to do what they please, basically. And because they're undocumented, it's hard to keep tabs on what they're doing when they're here.
Yeah.
And we've seen a massive spike in crime in certain places where they are there, and this is almost a turning point, I think, for the UK now. A lot of stuff has changed recently. A lot of people have changed their outlooks. I think before, people just ignored it, buried their head in the sand, but now I feel like people's families at risk. People are noticing that their children are at risk, and yeah, it's a good turning point, I think. But we need to do more still. There's still a lot more ground we need to gain.
CJ, it doesn't take much to get us going, mate.
Now the whole law where they come to your house for posting something on Facebook or whatever, we don't really not much about that here. But I've had people from England tell me that they're going to have England will send their quote unquote bobbies over, fly them here, and the U.S. government will let them come to my house and bring me back to England. And I was like, there's no way.
Really?
One, the U.S. government's not going to allow it.
No, surely
the state
not.
police is not going to allow it. No. You know what I mean? So, but I've had them, literally over something I've said. I'm telling the UK government, and they're going to be flying over tonight. I'm like,
what? To get you? You mean?
Yeah, in my house in the United States.
I just spent the last year living at a flat where I had some druggie living outside my house, like just causing shit most nights. I reported him to the police regularly. They couldn't even get him out of it, so there's no way they're going to come to America.
Whoever said that to you is fucking just clutching at straws. Fucking what?
Yeah, this is a few months ago. I'm still waiting. You know.
Yeah, I think whatever you said must have pissed him off.
Yeah,
it wasn't even that bad. I don't think it was that bad. It was someone else, and one of my followers or listeners said something, and they just came on the post from out of nowhere and saying they're going to tell him. And I'm like, dude, I don't condone violence, but there's no way in hell they're pulling me out of my house, especially if they're not U.S. law enforcement.
Yeah, you'd imagine that a British police officer turning up at your house fucking wearing a British uniform. You'd be, who the fuck are you?
Yeah.
No shot.
Yeah.
One of those funny pointed hats on, you know, the ones I'm talking about, the like helmets, the proper police bobby helmets. Yeah. With a baton in his hand.
Hello. What we got here then?
You're under arrest, mate. You're coming with me.
Fucking ain't happening, is it?
And I guess before we get too far into the main topic tonight with the VOD, is there any little grumbles? I know you guys used to do these little grumbles in your earlier episodes, kind of, I guess, get your blood pressure up a little bit to get you rearing to go later on. Is there anything you think us Americans should know?
We used to do little grumbles. We used to do little grumbles, didn't we?
Not necessarily a little grumble, I don't think, but I think it's more of a, we should take a leaf out of America's book when it comes to, we're going to go back to the flags thing here. And back to...
I want to talk about that, yeah.
About the flags thing, about being patriotic towards your own country. There's no other country in the world that its people are, more patriotic and more committed to the flag and the country and the things that they were founded on, and the culture, than America. And I think the UK could easily take a leaf out of their book in that sense, and we need to be proud of what we're doing, proud of the colours, proud of the flag, etc. At the end of the day, I mean, I know you guys over there pledge an allegiance to the flag. That's a
kids do.
Yeah, your kids do it at school, from an early age. Yep. That's taught. You're taught to be patriotic, but in this country, none of that happens. None of that. When you're in school, you're not.
You get punished for being patriotic in school.
Yeah. If you'd to talk out, there's a good case, wasn't there, of the girl that.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of.
Girl that was asked to come to school and give, was it a presentation or
basically
talk
it was
to
a
her
multiculturalism day, like to come in and dress up or in some form of culture, like what culture you want to celebrate. And the British girl went in wanting to celebrate British culture, and she wore a Union Jack or Union flag. Some bastard would try bloody correct me. But yeah, it's a Union
Yeah,
flag.
Union Jack's only flown on a ship, mate.
Yeah. You could argue she was a ship. But yeah, the Union flag on a dress or some sort of attire, and the teacher sent her home because she said it was inappropriate, and it's like, it's fucking part of British culture. We come to celebrate our culture.
She was essentially stopped from giving her sort of presentation on her culture, being British, what she was proud of. She was told, no, you can't do that. That's not allowed. And
it's meant to be a multicultural day at school.
Yeah, she was told she couldn't do it.
No, yeah, my school, like my school system, my town is more conservative, but with the Pledge of Allegiance, there is liberal cities that have pushed to have that removed from the start of the school days because they say it's not inclusive. It doesn't include, people from other countries. They don't want it in there. It makes them feel alienated. So there has been that push, though, here by liberal cities.
Why? It fucking makes my piss boil.
If you're going to school in that country and you're living there, then you have to fucking conform or
I'm not going to
embrace the culture. Don't try to change it. Just go there and add to it, embrace it. Take it as your own. If you're going to be living there and going to a school there, then surely that's going to become part of your culture as well. She should be, happy with that, proud of it.
If I went to an Italian school and they were doing some sort of cultural day at school, and there was no English flags, I'm not going to go, oh, it offends me. I'm absolutely disgusted that there's always Italian flags up.
Well, hang on a minute. Yeah, I don't like
school.
Can you all speak English in this class? Because even though we're in Italy or wherever you are, it's getting out of fucking control.
It really is, yeah. And like you were saying, like the flag, I guess the English flag, the red and the white. Are they banning that in certain areas? Is that like something?
They're not banning it. There's been certain councils and government or smaller group governments within like counties and things that have sent people out to take the flags down, and they're using excuses at the moment that they're causing traffic problems, they're causing issues on the highways. For some reason you can't see a sign because there's a flag hanging from it. Yeah, health and safety and all that sort of fucking shit that you see. We all see that bullshit on construction sites. Well, me and Jamie certainly do. There's a lot of bullshit with that. Now they're just like, and they're literally plucking excuses out of thin air to get them off in certain places. But then other places are embracing it.
Okay.
Which is
because like even here, like the Confederate flag is not like, it's probably worse than the English flag, right? I mean, it was they split up, Civil War, they had their own flag, the Confederate flag or the rebel flag, whatever you want to call it. That's still allowed to be flown in public areas. Like, they can fly it down south. And they kind of embrace it as like a Southern pride thing to get away from liberalism, I guess. I'm obviously from the North.
That's the divide, isn't it, I suppose, that you guys have, isn't it? It's the South and North, and that, liberal and conservative divide now, I guess. That's what it's evolved into.
Yeah, that's what the divide started as. And even here in New Jersey, it's a northern state, one of the original colonies here. Where I am, it's like a farming, horse farm area. We breed a lot of the best racehorses in the world in my area. New Jersey is mostly red, but there's a strip of just cities that have blue, and they run the whole freaking state when it comes to voting and everything else. And we go liberal all the time. But even up here, the Confederate flag is a big staple of, on trucks and stuff as they're running around. And people try to say, oh, this is because they're racist, they hate, whatever. But it's nothing to do with it. Yeah. You know what I mean?
It's the stigma that's stuck to it because of something that's happened in the past. People can't get over, a very small period of history that a certain small group of people used a flag for to represent themselves. Now later on, but the people that look at that and are offended by it or upset by it, they always go back to that same argument, don't they? That, it's to do with this, to do with that. But no, it's evolved more than that. It's changed. We're moving forward in history. We don't need to live in the past. This is the thing, isn't it? And a lot of things with the English flag at the moment, or arguments I've seen recently, is so St George is our patron saint of England. So it's St George's Cross. People at the moment are arguing that St George wasn't born in England, therefore he, the flag that represents our patron saint is invalid. You know, he was born in Turkey and he lived in Israel, obviously, but that doesn't make any difference to the fact that it's still the English flag. At some point in our history, those colours, that flag was adopted by our country to represent our country. And it doesn't matter about where the patron saint came from, because just because it's called St George's flag doesn't have any relevance to it. It's a pointless argument. We don't need to live in the past. We're talking about what's going on in the future now, and this is the argument at the moment. I think a lot of people are getting there, you know, or throwing back at us for putting the flag up. Oh, he wasn't born in England. But it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You're the ones that are now making it about race, not us.
They always do. That's what they go back to.
Yeah.
But I don't think any of this happens in like a vacuum. I think everything has to go to this greater scheme for I like to call them the globalists, the freaking one world governance people. And I think that's why they start with the divide. You know, they're going into the U.S. We had that huge thing. It probably started in the Obama term, really took off under Trump because Trump was in less of a globalist guy. So they see the left and right. It's the easiest thing to do, right? Just divide by politics. Mm-hmm. So you spearhead it, you know, like I liked your, when you were talking about FOBs in your episode before. Yeah. So you, like using some, other, kind of war tactics, they see that strong front line. They can't, break it, right? So the globalists will spearhead right through and they divide left and right, and then once they're, divided and isolated, the left seem to fall easier. They're the ones that, give into everything, all the propaganda stuff you see on TV, right? The freaking jab, getting the jab easy, everything. And then the right just seems stronger, right? They don't want to give in as easy. That's when you start seeing these divides. I guess you see them over there too, in the right? They try to force wedges in over there. Like the Epstein thing over here, for instance, is a huge one that all of a sudden has divided the right. Because we had those files, they said they had the files, and then Trump, for some reason, comes out and says it's a hoax. So now you have the real Trump supporters that are saying, well, it's a hoax, whatever he's saying that. Then you have the other right that voted for Trump, but now are pissed off about that, so now they're fighting. I think it's all done as it's theater to keep everyone fighting. So one, they're ignorant to really what's going on because they're more worried about fighting each other and not seeing the grand scheme of things, which is just trying to dilute every culture, get rid of patriotism, get rid of nationalism, which over here, I don't know about over there, nationalism now has turned into a term of racism, a white nationalist, you know what I mean? It's a negative term now to be someone who likes their country. So I think that's really where we're going. It's this whole globalist movement, and they're picking it apart. And they're starting with us. We're, very influential, very strong, patriot-like countries. And they're going to try to split it up. And that's where they've been divide and conquer with it, And the left is easy. They fall easy. They just do whatever the frick they're told. And I think that certain mentality, a certain person, you know what I mean?
Always roll over, don't they?
Yeah, those people always roll over. They always go left. But then the right, the more open-minded free thinkers, they're the ones that they're really trying to attack now. Of recently, the media's been doing it and everything. So, I guess you guys see that same kind of division in the right.
Yeah, there is definitely, like you say, there's you've got the main divide between the left and right, and then I believe there is divide within those two separate sides as well. I don't know so much about the left. There might be a bit of divide in the left, but there's certainly, I would say, there's divide within the right as well. I see it more on social media rather than in person.
Yeah, it's true too.
Because you do get there's one particular guy, I can't remember his name now, but he's an absolute penis. He's a straight up racist. Some of the stuff he says on there, I used to follow him because some of the stuff I was like, yeah, I can get on board with that. And then some stuff I was like, mate, that's actually just straight up racism, and that is what's tarnishing the rest of us, like, and giving all of us. Yeah, like it's we're trying to defend ourselves and say, look, it's nothing. What we're saying is not racist. It's nothing based on race at all. But when you get your pillock like that, who's straight up being racist, that is like tarnishing what we're doing. So then we all get tarnished as racists. He's a prick. I can't remember.
Well,
If I remember his
what-
name, I'll tell
doesn't
you.
it doesn't matter about his name, but at the end of the day, I mean,
It does.
If somebody you could have name and shame him, but that sort of thing. I don't know whether you guys ever think this. People like that are still out there posting these sorts of things and gets away with it. Okay, so we've already spoken about people that put stuff on social media and have an opinion and voice their opinions and go to prison for it. This guy that you say is putting stuff out there that's blatantly racist and, you know, against the law, as it were, in this country. Okay, how has he not ended up in prison? Is he out there or paid by somebody? Is he the opposition and he's integrated himself in? Is he a plant? Is he paid for by the opposition?
The way he said, "Oh, there he is."
It doesn't necessarily, not necessarily this person. I'm just putting an example out there as well. For this does happen. This is something that we've already seen multiple times within the protests within the country at the moment. There's the right and the left protests. They're both split by the police. You know, there's police down the middle lining it, stopping the two different parties clashing. But there's always one on either side of it that seems to take things too far. But they're never the ones that end up getting arrested, or
we see that here too.
They're not the ones that ever seem to be in the news reports afterwards. This person did this. It's always, you know, a small group of other people who are then coaxed into it by said person, and they just, you know, they might start something, fuck off and disappear, and then just let it play out. It's paid opposition.
Yeah, I was talking about that when we came on.
It's just a theory to put out there, yeah.
Yeah, I was talking about that when we came on for the ICE riots in LA, when they had immigration out there, and people would show up, hand out gas masks, and then take off, and then they would have the balls to start going against the tear gas and stuff, and really causing shit shows. Yeah. And it's just like, well, who's funding bringing the gas masks? Who's organizing that?
Yeah.
Because it's obviously not the people on the streets. Let's face it, they're not. I don't think they have the whereabouts or the intelligence to get that kind of a thing going together or anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'll get what you mean.
I've heard
100%.
recently, I don't know if this really means much to Joe or Joe's listeners, but there was a anti-racist opposition, basically an anti-racist protest down in Bristol in the UK, and obviously they were protesting against the likes of us who are protesting against illegal immigration and these asylum seekers in hotels. And apparently this anti-racist opposition protest, it had been found out that they were in fact funded and funded by Bristol Council themselves. So Bristol Council bloody funded it, their own council.
That's fucking hell.
That is fun. So I'll be paying my council tax, and
to
the
fund
council
the
tax
protest.
is funded the
funding protesters.
Well, this is a very similar thing that we saw as well during Pride Month, didn't we? We saw a council or a small group of the government within that county pay for or want to pay for a gay pride parade or festival, and it was granted and let through it. But on the other side of things, there was a completely different celebration of, I can't remember exactly what the other one was, but they were denied, the funding for it. So, where is the balance? Where is the, where do you draw the line?
Where's the equality, diversity and inclusion?
Exactly. Where is the DEI bollocks that the country and the government are always going on about?
Yeah.
It's one rule for one and one rule for another.
Well, you bring up
being a white straight male, you're at the bottom of the fucking pile.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. But bringing up pride, I found something that was kind of fascinating. Ever since Trump took over this term, he's back in. Barely any of our companies switched to their pride logos for their social media. Like, they all did it under Biden, and then once Trump gets in, they just don't even do it. It's like, well, what is your stance on it? Is it whatever the administration wants or cares about? You know what I mean?
Are you told to do that?
Out. Yeah, you're told
to do it. It does make you wonder, doesn't it? If a government send out an email to these companies and say, it's Pride Month, you better change your logo, or you won't get this government funding, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Or, is there something going on in the background with that? Or
Yeah, I see what
But
you're
now
saying.
now Trump's in. Trump would probably go, no, fuck that, cut the funding for that, forget that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because actually, when you apply for grants, so I've done things in the past where I was part of like charity organisations or a non-for-profit organisation, and you can actually apply for grants in financial support in that way. And when you have to apply for these grants, it is literally a box-ticking exercise. And I think it's very much the same for things like that. Like, we want to carry this action out because we believe it will contribute towards this sector of the community. And so if you tick all the right boxes, you're going to get these financial grants. So that is probably why you see a lot of these organisations and companies adhering to these fucking having your gay pride flags written all over your bloody
does
vans.
it land in the lap of the right person within, who's got to make that decision at the end of the day
the
to
right
approve
person's
it?
been promoted to that position, maybe.
Or maybe it's a very small group of people who all agree with that certain. It's a biased opinion. It's a biased opinion at the end of the day to be approved for that, unless it's done through the community and through the people that are actually going to be affected by it or attending it or not wanting to attend it. Then you can't please everybody. That's the thing.
Yeah, and staying with the division here, I think the media is another big driver behind causing that division. Obviously, because a big one, which used to really piss me off a lot, was during Trump's first term, he implemented rapid DNA testing at the border. So if you came across and there's adults and a child, they had to do rapid DNA testing to make sure that child was a family member of the adults. And the media always push it as he's trying to separate families. He's separating families at the border. And it really wasn't the case. It was, well, why is this child not related to you in any way?
Yeah.
What are you doing? Because we had, sex trafficking and child trafficking through the border. Once the Biden administration got in, boom, got rid of it. Instantly got rid of it. They didn't care. Send them up. And then we lost something like 50,000. I'd have to check that again. Kids came in, never reported.
Yeah.
Their social worker or whatever they call them didn't have their addresses, so they couldn't visit where they went. And they always try to play it off. Oh no, it's not. They're not missing. We just don't know their current address. It's like, well, doesn't that mean they're missing? You know what I mean?
And then accounted for means missing.
Yeah.
And then as soon as Trump got back in, rapid DNA testing was readmitted.
Back again, yeah. So the difference between your guys' border policy and ours, the people that are turning up on our shores at the moment are predominantly fighting age males. So from the ages of 20 to 40, possibly 50 at a push. And it seems to be a very, very, very low percentage of them are women and children. Now, we did see when, the whole war in Ukraine started, Ukrainian women and children came here.
Yeah.
But since that point, I don't know what's changed recently, there doesn't seem to be a lot of people fleeing Ukraine coming here now. I almost feel like it was like a slight break us in gently. Now all of a sudden we've got Syrians, we've got Pakistanis, Afghanis, the list goes on. Anybody, you name it, they're coming here from all over the Middle East. And none of them are women and children. So you almost can't justify it in my head, or I can't.
Yeah.
That's my own personal opinion.
If they're fleeing war-torn countries, why are all the men coming here?
Exactly. This
Exactly.
is the
You've left
argument
your
we
women
make all the time.
You've left your women and children at the forefront of the war to fight your battle.
Yeah, this is the argument we make all the time, isn't it? If our country was under attack and this was happening, I wouldn't be fucking leaving. I'd be here defending it and staying here.
Yeah,
I'd be in my own country.
That's what we would do.
My wife and my child would be the first people I would try and get out of here as quick as possible or somewhere safe. But I would still be here fighting and looking after it, trying to restore it to what it was, or at least trying to do something about it.
Yeah. Towards the end of Biden's term, though, we did have a major influx of Chinese nationalists, males of fighting age, coming through the border, and Middle Easterns. And they'd always do the same thing, asylum seekers. Now, from what I understand, I thought asylum seekers, they stop at the first country that's safe. They're not going to come. They land in South America, and then they come all the way up through Mexico, all the way up into the United States, or they land in Canada and then come down through the northern border. Now, is Canada not safe? That's what I never understood. Why are we getting them from Canada? Why are they sending them down from Canada? You know what I mean? So that was another thing. Just, and then you have no idea where they go.
Maybe we need to take a leaf out of Canada's book and find out what they're doing. Send them somewhere else.
Yeah, they're just sending them down to us, and then under the Biden administration, like, yep, all right, whatever.
Yeah, but
send them down.
If they're landing in South America, I mean, if you landed in Mexico and you landed on a nice beach somewhere, would you sort of think this is fucking lovely? Why would you want to then go north to the States?
Because you don't get the benefits. You don't get.
That is the big part of it, isn't it? Yeah.
It's nothing to do with safety. They want the benefits, and then they go hiding. Who knows who half these people?
So is that the same in America then, where asylum seekers would come to America and then they'd get given financial benefits? Would they get given like health care, social care?
It was huge when the Biden administration, when Trump got in, and they started DOGE, the Department of Government Efficiency, and they were looking through this stuff. They were getting credit cards with huge limits on top of food benefits, housing. And the thing is that was also weird under the Biden administration during the time, right before the election, they were disproportionately sending those asylum seekers, if you will, to the swing states, the states that could have gone either way in helping Trump or Biden win. And they were flooding them in
the
there.
Left.
And they're not supposed to vote. You know what I mean? You're not allowed to vote unless you're a U.S. citizen.
Yeah.
But even like here in New Jersey, you have a driver's license, you can vote. And they give driver's licenses to undocumented. And when I was going, I was in there, I was actually getting my motorcycle endorsement a few years ago under Biden. I'm standing there, I have 17 points of documents to show my citizenship, birth certificate, social security card, everything. And then I look over and there's a line, none of them, they have translators with them and stuff, and they just have a pink piece of paper. They walk up, hand it, they walk over, take their picture, and then they get their license and they leave. And it's like, well, what's going on here?
Fucking wild.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If I forgot one bank statement with my address on it, I would have been told to leave.
Yeah. Go back and come back tomorrow when you got the right paperwork.
Yeah, but they're just walking
these guys
through.
With no paperwork can come in. Yeah, that's fucking crazy.
They get their license and then they're allowed to vote because you have a driver's license. You don't need to show any other type of documentation to vote or to register to vote. You can register to vote when you get your driver's license. You just check it off, register to vote with your license, and now you have a voter ID or a voter serial number. Trump wants to implement voter ID, where you get a voter ID card after you prove you're a citizen to kind of help with that. The left goes nuts about it. And the thing that really makes it comical is that the left's defense is they say it'll disproportionately affect the black community because the black community doesn't have access to the computers. You know what I mean? Like if you go on YouTube right now and you look at America defense or reasons why they shouldn't do voter ID, they're basically all racist freaking excuses. Right. And I'm like, you tell me that guy can't freaking go to a computer? What are you trying to say?
Most public libraries, most public buildings and things in America have computers accessible to the...
Every fucker has a phone though, right? Like,
and phones do fucking more than computers do, a lot of them nowadays.
Yeah, but that's our biggest excuse.
So that's no excuse. No, it's not an excuse.
I'm wondering if the UK are going to be doing that. I'm wondering if... Because basically, Labour...
Well, they've already brought this idea out, haven't they, of the brick card. So the ID, or,
But you know how it takes 5 years for these asylum seekers to be processed? It's a 5 year...
Which is fucking ridiculous at the end of the day. How can it take 5 years to process somebody? I mean, how...
And after that 5 years,
we are a country that is a fucking speck in comparison to the United States, and they can probably process... I don't know for sure, but they probably process people far fucking quicker than 5 years.
If they want to.
But I'm wondering if they're like... Because you think as well, our political terms is actually 5 years, isn't it? It's not 4 years, it's 5 years.
Yeah.
And and all of a sudden...
Unless there's a snap election.
But yeah, and when Labour came in... I'm sorry, because I know that our politics probably doesn't make sense to the Americans. But when Labour come in, they've got like 5 years in term. and now they need to like stay where they are, right? So they're thinking, right, let's get as many people in, like many illegal immigrants in, or many asylum seekers, many foreigners into the country as possible, because they will definitely sway their vote towards us. So I'm wondering if it's all about get as many of them in,
what process them within the 5 years,
legalize them in 5 years. So when it's time for voting,
they're going to vote for
they
us.
can vote, and they will vote for us.
you. Yeah, they'll vote for the. Yeah, I think the left is like the foot soldiers of these elites, you know, the globalist thing, because they want to freaking flood the countries. And I think that's another big thing of trying to get rid of nationalism and patriotism. You just dilute the culture. You just keep flooding them in. And they come in and they don't want to, you know, comply or kind of like want to be part of your culture. They want you to change for them. And that's what the left's always, you got to, you know, what... Don't offend them. But it's like, well, what am I doing? You know, why can't I have my flag out front? Because there's now like developments and stuff where you can't even fly your American. They don't want you flying your American flag out front because it'll offend the guy across the street. It's like, well, this is America. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like, I don't want to live in an HOA.
If he's offended, he can fuck off. Simple as that.
Yeah, just don't look at it or whatever.
Yeah, close your eyes and fuck off.
Because there's HOAs and they set up their own little rules and their little developments, and yeah, they'll be like, nope, the guy over there doesn't like that flag. Take it down.
That's one thing about America I can still not get my head around, the HOA things, the homeowners
association nonsense.
I just think that's absolutely insane.
Dude, that's why I'll never live in one.
Telling you that you can't do certain things to your house and you can't cut your grass on a certain day or has to be in a certain pattern. It's the most insane fucking thing I've ever heard.
You have to get approval for anything, to change your shutter colors, to change your roof color, the siding. You can't have that on your porch, you know what I mean? That's why I was like, I'm never going to do that stuff.
Most of England is like that, though. Most of England is like...
It's not, though. It's not...
You need planning permission for fucking... Yeah, but if I want to fucking... In certain parts of...
Well, we're talking about, like, if you want to put, like, an ornament out on your porch, or if you want to fly a flag on a certain side of your house,
you gotta get approval from the HOA.
You want to paint your house a certain colour, you have to go to the HOA,
right?
You know, and they have to then debate it. Oh, do we want them to paint those shutters green when everybody else has got blue ones? It's the most insane shit I've ever heard in my life.
What would you do if you do just paint it? What would you do if you...
They'll fine you.
Am I going to pay the fine?
Just keep fining you, I guess. I don't know.
Keep fucking fining me.
And then they finally take you to court. Because, like, to move into those stupid things, you got to freaking sign contracts and stuff. Then you'll pay your agent fee every month.
Exactly. And then you're in breach of contract.
Yeah.
Right. And they would take you to court and you'd be sued. And then all of a sudden...
That sounds like a really fucking shit situation to be in.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's usually in these new developments they put up when they take away the farmland. Yeah. Which I don't even want to get into that because remember that really got me pissed off. Taking away farmland.
Yeah,
and shit.
I listened to your
episode. Yeah.
So yeah, we'll kind of skip from that, I guess. But yeah, you guys can't fly that flag. We already talked about not flying that flag. Your flags out there, just the English flag.
Well, we can. I'll fly any flag I fucking want to.
Yeah, I see videos of them. You know, you got these whales ripping them down off the freaking poles and stomping on them or ripping them in half and stuff.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
That just fucks me off. You're an English person in England taking down the England flag. Make that make sense.
Yeah.
You're
how
English
could you be so ashamed of it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's a good point. Actually, there's a campsite near me that's flying a Palestine flag at the moment.
Well, we've got a mission to do.
You're probably right. Yeah.
That's the other thing. Why are we flying other country flags? Oh, in support of. Fuck off. It's England, mate. I'll put an English flag up, not a fucking Palestine flag, not a fucking Ukraine flag, not a fucking Japanese flag.
When the Ukraine war first kicked off with the flags, that was quite eye-opening. The amount of Ukrainian flags that popped up.
Yeah. Even here.
Insane, wasn't it?
But at least most of the time, they'd have the American flag flying above the Ukrainian flag. But they
side
were
by
all
side.
over the place.
But we saw.
I mean, gone.
I noticed a lot of it just purely the Ukrainian flag. Yeah. Nothing else. You know, no above or below or beside. It was
And
just
some of those
there,
places,
plain-
some of those houses had never even had an English flag up or a Union flag up.
People erected a flagpole to fly a Ukrainian flag.
Yeah, but not a
That was
fucking
the
English
most
flag.
insane thing. Yeah.
Like, now you decide to put a flagpole in and put a fucking flag up.
Dude,
But it's not English.
that stuff kind of makes me think that, like, again, Doge, they found all this money being spent on using the television to actually brainwash and make people do what they want to do based on patterns and stuff in the background. There was a whole thing about it, almost like MK Ultra, if you go back to like the CIA's thing controlling people. And that's what makes me think that some of these people, they watch the news so much, they just get like these impulses that they don't even control, and they just go out there and they stick a flag in, freaking Ukrainian flag up. I got to go get my jab, get my 17 COVID boosters. You know what I mean? And I think it's all comes down to that.
Maybe
like,
maybe all those people watched a certain news program at a certain time, which had the trigger in it. It was all already within them. Yeah, I'll see where you're coming from. Yeah.
Have you seen those
And all of a
clips?
sudden,
Have you seen those clips where it's like a collage of all different news reporters on different news channels, all saying word for word
the same
the
thing.
exact same thing, word for word? Tell me that's not a fucking mass mind control operation. And like,
you see that?
Go on, Joe.
You see that here. Like, you see all these influencers, all these left influencers, and they'll say the same thing word for word. They'll post it on Facebook, they'll post it on X, and it's like 20,000 accounts all saying the same exact thing about whatever just happened. And I'm like, again, it's just paid plants or mind control.
And the thing I've noticed as well with those accounts, like, you know, they look like genuine people, but if you actually click on, you know, I see it a lot more on Facebook than anything, and you click on the actual profile when you go into, you know, you might look at friends and things like that, and it's either all hidden, or it's all maybe 2 or 3 friends, or they've done every single post that they've done since the start of the account has been something very similar to that post that you thought, hang on, what the fuck's going on? They're not people, are they? It's either bots or somebody who's paid to upload and put that bullshit out there.
I see it in TikTok lives when I'm watching some people's TikTok lives. There's people that jump in there and they say the most NPC fucking thing you could fucking say. Like, you know, oh, you're racist. And then you'll look at that person's profile and it's got like 0 following, 0 likes, 0 friends, and it's just a fucking random page. It says user 1676729 alpha B65. It's like, which, by the way, is that particular person's a prick.
Yeah, I know him.
But
And I don't know if, like, at least during the Biden administration over here, me being a conservative as I was, you're almost afraid to kind of let people know you're a conservative. They made it so bad during that era, and that's also kind of where we started with making this podcast, Josh and I, because I didn't know which side he leaned on. And I remember we were playing like Warzone or something one day during COVID, and somehow, I don't know how it came up, but Josh actually meant it. He's like, "What, you're not vaccinated?" And I didn't know how he meant it, so I just kind of didn't say anything because I'm like, "Oh, is this guy gonna get mad at me now because I'm not vaccinated?" It's most of them, like my friends, I do have liberal friends, and I just don't talk to them about it, and we kind of just ignore it, and we can get along besides that. But they're all vaccinated, and most of them were vaccinated because their jobs were forcing people to get vaccinated. Now, where I work, you know, I'm a field service mechanic. I go to the construction sites and fix the equipment. They were holding out. They're like, we're not doing this unless we're like absolutely mandated, like with being, you know, fined terribly or shut down or whatever. So I never got it, and I'm glad none of them. So that was where I was kind of like, I don't know what's going on. I'm not gonna say anything to Josh. And then I've always wanted to make a podcast, you know, listening and the way everything was going to the Biden administration. And then when Trump got in, the next day, Josh sent me just an emoji, you know, or a meme of Trump with the thumbs up, and I was like, oh, maybe this. So I just kind of like was just talking a little bit, and I'm like, oh, he is a fucking conservative. All right, and then but the way they actually made it, you were as a conservative, you were afraid to reach out and see it because they just made it seem like the liberals were like everyone during the Biden administration. Everyone's liberal, and if you're a conservative, you're basically a piece of shit. And that's how the divide started. And I was like, oh, okay. And then we were going back and forth, and I just said, Josh, hey, you want to start a podcast? And he went, yep. And then the rest was history. We started the Conspiracy Kitchen. You know, we kind of talked shit about Biden early on. And we do go bounce around, you know, cryptids and stuff just because, like you mentioned today, we want to keep things light sometimes. If you keep going on with the freaking...
Yeah, I'd like to come on for an episode about cryptids and conspiracies and shit as well. I'd enjoy that. Yeah,
as soon as, you know, when Josh isn't working, I guess.
I want to talk about space with him.
We'll talk about space. He thinks space is real, but he thinks it's flamboyant. Whatever. Okay. I'm not sure. You'd have to get his opinion on what that means exactly. I don't know, but yeah, later on, because I sent it to Jay actually. I made a little custom or special intro just for this episode, and I want to be able to use it again. So if you guys come on here again, I get to use it again. I guess he liked it. I think he liked it. I'm not sure.
Yeah, it's cool.
Did Elliot hear it? He didn't.
Oh no, he didn't send that to me.
So it was almost like
I'll get to show me afterwards.
It's not like it's nothing like huge or spectacular. It was just something I thought was kind of cool to do because you guys are coming on, basically taking over the episode. You know what I mean? But yeah, it was just insane how they made the division where you were just afraid to be a conservative over here.
Yeah.
And then they found out that's not the case because, you know, obviously Trump won with the electoral votes and the popular vote, which you don't even need, but he still got the popular vote. And watching that election live, I would go to like these liberal news stations and they're like, oh, well, Trump's up in Pennsylvania, but we got Penn State University going to be putting their votes in now. It's going to probably flip it. Here they come now. And then they'd be like, oh, no, it didn't, because Trump would still get like those votes because it's kind of nice to see these kids like early 20s. You know, I'm 32, I'm 93. I think I'm Elliot's age. They're seeing this shit. You know what I mean? They're seeing the bullshit, and they've been kind of flipping. Because we always thought the younger ones were, you know, they wanted everything given to them, so they were always voting liberal. But it doesn't seem to be the case anymore. You know, we're going to go in conservative, and I hope it's going to continue. I hope our governor election that's coming up in November, I hope we don't go with a liberal governor because they just want to fight Trump. And that's just going to destroy our taxes because they're just going to be fighting, not caring about what we say. Taxes go up, and they're not going to give a shit. And New Jersey's number one concern is taxes.
Look at the UK, mate. It's a prime example.
Yep, we get taxed on fucking everything.
And
yeah, at least we're not that bad, I guess.
The energy rates are going up at the end of this year when they said they wouldn't. Taxes are going up when they said they wouldn't. It's
talking about taxing something today, another tax of landlords, another extra tax for them, which is just going to get passed on to people that rent.
Yeah,
you know, and the people that rent in this country, unfortunately, are the people that pay more money than anybody for housing out of everyone, but they're still not allowed a mortgage, which is absolutely fucking unreal. So, just going to give you an example. Say you paid 1,200 quid or whatever that is in dollars. I don't know what the exchange rate is, but say it's 1,200 in rent.
Yeah.
And you were to pay a mortgage for a mortgage would cost you, say, 800. If you went to the bank and said, I'd like to get a loan because I want to buy a house, and they'd be like, no, you can't afford to pay the mortgage. Even though you're already paying an extra 400 on top of what your mortgage would be. This is the complete backwards side of this country.
I would actually be financially better off if I had a mortgage.
Yeah, but you're not allowed a mortgage because income. Apparently you can't afford it. It's the most backwards housing system that I've ever heard of.
So they're not allowing mortgages due to income, not credit. That's what you
have to have a good credit score.
But at the end of the day, if you've paid rent for the last 5 to 10 years and you've paid, say, over 1,000 for it, and you were to go to a bank and say, well, I'd like to buy this house, would you lend me the money for the deposit, and I could pay you back for the loan, and I could pay the mortgage, all in the same, and still be a little bit better off each month. They go, no, sorry, but you're not accepted for that. Yeah. Because you might have had a slightly different past, 5 years ago, you might not have been able to do that, but this is the difficulty in the country, I think, and this is what if we go back to the global elites and the divide and us being pushed into a certain thing, they want us to rent stuff. They don't want us to buy it, because there's a pretty there's a good quote from somebody who, I think it's the World Economic Forum, plan to control everybody throughout throughout the world. You'll own nothing and you'll be happy.
Yeah. Yes. It's easier to get out of a rental too. It's not yours.
Yeah, it's not yours. They'll own everything. The small group of elites that run the world, whether you want to call them fucking the Illuminati, whether you want to call them the World Economic Forum, whatever, the fucking lizard people, whatever you want to call them. There's no freedom. We're not going to own anything, and you'll be happy about it, basically.
Yeah. Well, that's what they tried over the whole COVID thing, right? The whole reset. They wanted
the
to
great
own everything.
reset. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, but like over here, they're working on where rent counts towards mortgage, the credit score for mortgage.
See, that's fucking great. That's brilliant.
Yeah, that's what they were working on now. And like for us, your mortgage payment can't be more than about 50% of your monthly income. They won't approve it if it gets above 50. They'll go like 51, 52, but they'll make you you need to write me a budget down, hand it to the underwriters, what you're going to spend your money on, so we know you can afford it and stuff like that. I don't know. Is yours more strict with that when it comes to that?
They want statements, they want paperwork, they want all of your accounts tax-wise for the last X amount, and if you're self-employed like me and Jamie are, they'd probably want 5 years worth.
It used to be last 3 years. So if
3
you're
years.
self-employed, they want 3 years of books.
3 years of books, so that you've got, a decent amount of an income, and which is the funny thing about being self-employed, because that can vary quite massively depending on what trade you do as well. So, for instance, if you're a bricklayer or you're working outside a lot during the winter months, you don't necessarily earn a lot of money. You make all your money when the weather's good, and you make hay while the sun is shining, as they say.
Yeah, so good years and bad years.
Exactly, and it's up and down. It's very up and down. So the whole basis and foundations that giving somebody a mortgage is built on in this country, I think, is completely backwards and does need reevaluating. But it sounds good from the guys, from what you guys might be going in, paying rent and building a credit score and doing it that way.
Yeah, we have just a housing crisis though. Like our housing prices have been through the roof lately. That's the
same in the UK.
And they're still they're trying to put up more affordable housing, but for affordable housing, no one like us are going to be able to qualify for those. That's more for, especially in a state like New Jersey, you're not going to get in if you're one of us. They're not going to.
Same in the UK. Like let's see, Angela Rayner is like, which is our deputy prime minister, said we're going to create. I don't know what she said, like 50. It's just a number I'm picking out of the thin air. She said, we want to create 50,000 more affordable homes in the UK. But you ask her to explain her definition of affordable homes, and it's like she can't explain what she means by affordable homes. Like, affordable to who? Like in whose representation of affordable? Like, based on what? Because London's affordable, or another city's affordability, or if you did it across the average, what the hell would you consider to be affordable?
Yeah, it was a certain percentage above. I think for a certain percentage below the average house price in that town. They were doing something like that over here. It had to be a certain percentage below. But kind of getting back, I wanted to ask you this, and I forgot before. Like, you got the English flag, you got UK, you got your UK flag. I guess that's the blue, red, and white one. Like, the UK is what? That's the main island, Wales.
It's the same colours as you. It's red, white, and blue.
Yeah, but I mean, the UK is what? Scotland,
Wales, Northern Ireland, Wales, England.
Islands, Wales. Yeah, England. Okay, Ireland's separate, right?
Yep. They are sovereign. Yeah,
and
their
the
own
English
sovereign state. Yeah.
flag would just be for the mainland. I guess you could the main island. Is that what that is?
Yeah, I mean, Scotland and England and Wales are all connected, so that's one island. Ireland is by itself. Northern Ireland and Ireland
yeah.
is a separate entity to our west.
Okay. And then London is self-governing or something? Or something like that, I thought I heard.
Not self-governing. They have their own police, the Metropolitan London Police. They're not self-governing though. It's all included within the same thing. England has the main government based in London for the whole of the UK.
Okay.
But there is also a Scottish Parliament as well.
Okay.
So that decides what happens up there. I don't know about Wales and Northern Ireland. I'm not 100% sure on that. I'm sure there is a parliament for those as well. But mainly, yeah, the whole of the UK government is run from London, Downing Street, Westminster, etc.
There's a guy on Facebook called Jamie Freeman, and he explains and breaks down
I've got a lot of time for that guy.
He explains he explains the breakdown of London very, very well. Like London, and my understanding of how he broke it down was that London's its own entity.
So I was
like it has the police uniform. There's a different police in London. There's a different uniform from other police and stuff like that.
The Met. Yeah,
it's like a corporation.
They're more like a government corporation than an actual police force or police group.
Yeah, it's weird. Jamie Freeman, check him out on Facebook. He explains it really well in one of his videos.
And he puts out quite a lot of content related to the UK. If there's some UK listeners here, or if you're an American listener that's interested in it, go and have a little look at that. Jamie Freeman on Facebook and I think he's on other platforms as well.
Don't know.
But
a lot of the right here are interested in what you guys are doing over there, like the UK. It's been
and so we,
like
high
topic.
If there's guys over there in America that have comments and suggestions and things that you guys think we should hear, then leave a comment on Conspiracy Kitchen's platform, whatever this gets uploaded to, Spotify and things, I guess, Joe.
Yeah, Spotify, Apple Podcast, Amazon, and basically everywhere.
Yeah, leave a comment on those guys' stuff. I'll have a little read through and be interesting to hear.
Speaking of Scotland, there's that 13-year-old girl. I think I've seen it. I believe she's holding a knife and a little hatchet.
And an axe, yeah. You guys have spun that brilliantly. Sorry, carry on, yeah.
Yeah, so we've been hearing, but our mainstream media kind of is pushing it towards there's a minor, how do they call it? Adolescent crime is on the rise in the UK. Kids wielding knives and stuff, and they don't really go into exactly what happened there. And from what I understand, it was they were being harassed or videotaped, her and her 12-year-old sister or something.
Her 12-year-old sister somebody was making unwanted and strange, whether it's sexual advances or whatever on her, and making her feel uncomfortable, and that girl basically turned around and pulled a fucking axe and a knife out and stood up for her.
So I've seen it all over now. Like they're making all kinds of pictures of her. They're making her like almost like this figurehead for the movement against the pedo pandemic that you guys call it. And but our news is kind of spinning it in a different way. You know what I mean? They're trying to make it seem like there's this adolescent crime ring, I guess, of kids running around with knives. And it's been on the rise. This crime has been on the rise, and I'm like, I don't think that's what it was. You're leaving out major details here.
All I can compare it to is they're kind of like spinner in the light of the French Joan of Arc. Like she's defender of her sister. Of the Scottish nation and Scottish kids and stuff like that. She's there and the pictures I've seen, she's clad in armour, wielding an axe and a sword.
Shouting freedom.
That's great.
I'm a bit sceptical of that particular thing. I'm going to be the devil's advocate in this one because
you always are.
Yeah.
I don't know what to make of that situation or that. I haven't commented on it on social media. I've not shared it on social media because I'm not 100% sure
what the situation was. No, but
what the situation is.
Speculate at the end of the day.
I'm not sure what the what's the word I'm looking for? if it's like genuine. Was it a staged
Yeah.
video made for propaganda, like to sort of assist in the fight and rise against the asylum seekers in the UK, targeting our female, young females and whatnot? Was it just a? I don't know. My point being is that we have got to be so careful and question fucking everything.
Yeah, it's true.
And we have to like just be mindful of what we're being fed on social media, and it's easy to click share and like. Don't get me wrong, I'm preaching this, but I'm guilty of it as well. I get riled up.
You're always the skeptical ones about these sort of things, and it brings a balance. You have to have somebody like that. Otherwise, things go too far adrift at the end of the day.
You just
have that skepticism.
You just have to question these things, man. It's
question everything.
Always question everything.
Because it reminds me. I remember now maybe we were talking about the attempted Trump assassination.
Yeah.
When I was on your thing, and you were saying, was it a stage? Or I think you were saying maybe Elliot thought it was staged. And we kind of looked at that, but I mean, people died behind him, so I'm assuming bullets were flying.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I don't know if I trust some kid to take a shot at my ear and not hit blow my brains out.
Yeah.
So, that one I don't know if was. I think there's some kind of deep state involvement with that one, especially. And I was kind of thinking about maybe this is why the Epstein thing is being pushed to the back burner. This might have been bigger than we know with the whole thing. And like, listen, if you're gonna keep pushing at this Epstein thing, we almost killed you twice. You know what I mean, type of thing.
Yeah, the third time you won't be so lucky.
What you think it's like a warning shot?
Yeah,
like a show of force.
I think the whole Epstein thing was more so a big blackmail operation. You know what I mean? I don't know if you I did an episode on this couple weeks ago, I think now. But yeah, besides the fact that they're pieces of shit, I think it was on top of just blackmail. And I did talk about how I think it was Mossad and Israel kind of involvement there because Maxwell her father was a Mossad agent. I don't know if you guys got into that side of it, but they want, to control U.S. politicians. I know we're getting way off track here, but they want to control U.S. politicians and elites here. And then what do? You have Epstein, a college dropout, if somehow becomes a multi-millionaire, maybe a billionaire, buys an island and does the most heinous thing you could possibly do. And now you got either video or a list that you were there. Now, well, you either do this for us or I got it right here. You know what I mean? I got this list or this video, and you don't want that getting out.
Yeah, I'll get where you come from there.
Yeah.
Sorry, I just saw something come up on my news feed from GB News that British Airway flights forced into emergency landing after cabin crew collapsed on board due to toxic fumes. As hazmat suits rushed to the scene. Possible chemical attack?
That's possible. Yeah.
Oh, God.
See where that'll go.
GB News is, I guess GB News over there is more of your conservative news, because I know over here it's the British people that watch GB News. They're the fascists, the racists.
Oh yeah, I watch GB News every morning. I'm not joking. I do.
Yeah.
I used to watch probably 10 years or so. 10 years ago, I used to watch the BBC. Wake up, put on BBC News or Sky News, and fucking over the years just realised how much bullshit there is on there. But in recent years, GB News are actually covering things that I want to talk about and I'm interested in.
They're not even just covering it, they're investigating it.
Call me a fascist, call me a racist. I've been called worse. I've been called worse. I've been called a Nazi. I've been called whatever. I've been called a bigot. You name it, I've been called it.
Someone commented on one of our clips today, the little promotional clip for our episode, Elliot, and they said, "Searching for brain cells."
Oh, brilliant, yeah, of course, yeah. Because I'm sure they've sat down and actually listened to the things we talk about and want to open for a discussion. I'm sure they are.
Yeah. Yeah, we get called the same bigots and stuff, and it's not like we're against legal immigration. You know what I mean? We don't mind if you immigrate here legally, but I want you.
As long as you
you
bring
should
in
try
something
to-
over. I mean, I've got no problem against race, religion, whatever. It's just bring something to the table.
It
Don't
says a
just
lot
turn
when
up here, drain our resources, rape our children, rape our women. There's a fucking difference. And this is the argument I have with a lot of people all the time. Oh, you shared an England flag on your Facebook. That's racist. What do you mean it's racist? I'll get bored and annoyed with having the same conversation with people over and over again. Like, you tell me I don't have any brain cells. I've posted an England flag and you tell me I'm racist. I think that's self-explanatory. Yeah. You've got no fucking evidence to back up me being racist by posting an England flag. I'm done with the argument of it.
Yeah.
I'm sick of it. Yeah. But I still go on about it because I fucking believe in our country.
But yeah, just come over, contribute to society, and conform. Don't try to make everything change for you. Exactly. You came here.
Well, but we have a problem. We have a problem when legal migrants who have legally came into the UK and integrated well with our country and become part of the community, when those people have an issue with the illegal immigrants, we have a problem.
Oh, we see it all the time though. There's plenty of people that are like that.
Too, yeah, it's happening here too.
They have them on GB News regularly. People that are of different faiths, different races, different religions will come on there and talk about the exact same things we're talking about now.
Yeah,
it's not a closed thing, It's not a. It's a national thing. It's being English, and if you're proud to be English, then you will speak out against it. But if you're disappointed and upset with your own country because of something that's been spun to you by the media or by somebody who's talking in your, on your shoulder over your ear, it's conditioning, isn't it? At the end of the day, like we've spoken about.
But I think at the end of the day, we got to figure out who's orchestrating and funneling all these people to these countries.
That is the route we need to get to.
It. Mm-hmm. It's not just all these people like, you know what, I'm going to take a trip. There's someone's influencing this movement,
and the same people that are influencing in America are the same people that are influencing it in the UK and all the other countries. This is going on because it's not just an individual country thing. We're seeing the same thing that you're seeing at the end of the day. Yep. So those people are either taking the ideas from somewhere else or it's all being orchestrated by the same sort of people.
The question is, what's the end state? Why?
To see the collapse of the West, I'm sure.
And what is the end state? What is the outcome of this? And why do you want the outcome? Why do you want that outcome? I guess we'll find out in 2027.
Maybe in 2027. It's because the West is we're too proud of our own countries. Like I said, we have the nationalism, this patriotism. They don't want that. They want everyone just to bow down to this one. Like he said, you don't own anything and you'll like it. We want to own things. You know what I mean? We want to be individuals and stuff. They don't want that type of thing. They just want everyone to cater down to the elites, this small group, and be there, do their bidding for them, and they just get to go on with their lives as freaking. Basically, every elite's a freaking pedophile anyway. Yeah. So, and do their thing. Kind of lost. I had a different thing to say for that, and I just drew a blank, dude.
I do that all the time. It's because my mind rushes at like 100 miles an hour with all these things I need to say, and then all of a sudden I've got nothing to say. It happens all the time.
But I guess it's getting late over there, right? For you guys. Yeah. Getting a little tired. Well,
I feel like that's come to a natural end anyway. It worked out quite nicely, I think.
Yeah. For the listeners of Conspiracy Kitchen or the Americans over here, where would we get to follow you? You got socials and stuff?
So we are on Facebook, Instagram, X, and TikTok, but we predominantly use X and TikTok. We've only recently started using Facebook, and engaging more on there. And of course, you can listen to us on Spotify and most other podcast platforms, but mainly Spotify is our sort of go-to where we would interact more with the audience. Yeah.
Is there anything, like us American listeners, because we're kind of going in different directions. We're kind of curbing, I guess, the immigration, the crime with the way Trump's handling it with the National Guard and asking governors. Is there anything like Americans can do to help with your cause over there? Like you're fighting the pedo pandemic or anything like that?
Really don't know, to be honest with you, mate.
I don't know. I think we're all in the same boat at the end of the day.
Yeah.
I think as long as the UK and America still, the people of those countries still continue to develop and cherish or look after the relationship that we've already got, because both of us are Western countries, we're English-speaking countries, we have the same very similar values. Let's just, at the end of the day, stick together, do what we can for each other, and fucking support each other as much as we can. Yeah. That's all I can say about it.
I guess as well, actually, what that does make me think, if everyone can just realise that we're not enemies of each other, our enemy is way above us.
Yeah, the enemies, at the end of the day, the natural people of our countries have always stuck together and done what we need to do. It's the government that are going to divide us. It's the government that are going to split us up and probably make us hate each other at some point. I'm sure in the near future.
That.
Yeah,
potentially even above that. The enemy it might not even be seen yet.
Yeah, the government's just the foot soldiers of this deep state or elitists that are pulling the strings because they got the money. Yeah. And then when you get the money, you can persuade anyone in politics.
Do you know what would really make their... Sorry, I know we want to wrap this show up, but do you know what would really help collapse their plan and make this whole plan fold in is if every single person, no matter what race, religion, what ethnicity, if every single one of those people united, came together, and that would really the unseen enemy, they'd be like, what the fuck has just happened?
Doesn't matter political stance or anything like that. You just come together and say, this is America, this is the UK, and this is the country we want. But
we are one planet. You ever heard that saying? I think it was I can't remember who it was now. I heard it on an Architect song. We are one planet.
Yeah.
If you don't... yeah, whatever. It's been a great show, Joey. Thanks for having us on.
Yeah, no problem. And
I do
hopefully,
appreciate it,
you guys will be back. We'll talk about space and cryptids and use the intro again and have Josh on here as long as he's,
come back and get us all four of us for conspiracy and cryptids chat and ghosts and all sort of other, wherever it leads us,
Yeah, man.
That'd be a good episode, I think.
Yep. All right, guys. Well, keep up the good fight over there, and we'll see you later.
Yeah,
cheers,
same
Joe,
to you, dude. Yeah, cheers, man. Bye.